morning and welcome to my writing life. Today we're going to talk about starting over. So let's get to it. I talk a lot on this channel about how being bad at something is an essential step to becoming good at it. Now, writers have to go through this process several times. You get good at stories, but then you have to figure out how to be good at sentences. You get good at writing the book, but then you have to get better at revision. There's going to come a moment when your new skill pales in comparison to what you're currently good at. So here are 5 ways to face a transition in your life from something you've been doing for a long time to something brand new. Number 1, acknowledge that you're not alone. Change is an unavoidable part of the human experience. Whether it's a change in your job, marital status, financial situation, medical situation, even in those moments, it's helpful to remember that someone somewhere has already gone through this and realize that you aren't alone. Number 2, commit. A few months ago, when I started this channel, I sought the advice and experience of a bunch of other YouTubers who have been doing this for a long time. One of the biggest mistakes that YouTubers make in the earliest part of their career is even considering giving up before they have like 100 videos out. Yeah, it takes practice, and yeah, it takes time. But if you don't commit to doing those things regularly, those 10,000 hours required to become an expert in a skill will take you approximately 10 million years. I'm a writer, whether I want it or not at this point. I can't quit. I'm bad at it. And let's face it, writers, if you've tried to quit and you're still here on this channel, you're probably bad at quitting too. So stop quitting, commit to the process for at least the next 5-10 years, and see where it gets you. Number 3, be careful about your expectations. So it's very natural for certain kids to be automatically good at picking certain things up. But then when they face a challenge or there's something that's harder for them to do, they totally crack under the pressure. That pressure comes from the expectation that they're just naturally good at everything, which we all know is not true. So don't put insurmountable expectations on yourself. Planting a tomato 2 months before it's warm enough to plant a tomato isn't going to make it produce fruit any sooner. You're going to end up killing the plant, and the same thing is true of you. Expecting yourself to be awesome way before you realistically can is just going to burn you out. So be realistic about your expectations. Writing a book takes time. It takes time to get good at it. Which brings me to number 4. Look to your role models. There are constantly, all over the place, people that you can look to who have succeeded in the career and field that you're going into. And honestly, some of the coolest careers out there started later in life. Even though he was successful on stage, Alan Rickman didn't land a movie role until he was 42. Jesus was in his 30s when he started his ministry. Harry Bernstein published his first book when he was 96. Listen, I look up to Greta, Malala, and Jane Austen as much as the next person. But please let's not fall into the ageist idea that you have to be young in order to be successful. It's not too late to start something amazing. Number 5, remember when you used to suck at that thing you're really good at right now? The thing is, at one point you were not an expert in that thing you know right now. When was it? How long ago was it? How awful was it? How many hours of elbow grease and tears and effort did you have to put in over the years? There's 2 things to remember when you're looking back. It took time and effort, which should encourage you to be patient in your present goal, but also remember eventually it happened, which should give you hope that this can happen too. You eventually made it, which means future you totally has this. When does your writing count as work? Is it the first time you purchased that writing software? Is it when you wrote short stories in junior high? First time you paid an editor to look at your manuscript? First time you sent a query? Does it count when you have an agent? Does it count when you get published? At what point does it count as a writing career? As far as I can tell, that's up to you. And the truth is, you take it seriously earlier on, you get there a lot faster. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I will catch up with you next time. Bye. While writing their change is an inevitable part. Inevitable. I said inevitable when I'm screwing up. Okay. Your job, marital status. Change the trajectory of, even if it is going, even though he was sex. Wow. Okay, let's try that again.